I'm a lush, and I'm drunk again off another crush, don't rush.
Elden Ring is the latest game from Software, and it is massive. Absolutely incredibly big. And as it's a From Software game, it can be challenging. So I prepared a guide for you on a helpful beginner's route you can take that should help you get through the beginning of the game. With that said, if an area is too difficult for you, you can always leave and come back later when you have better weapons, ashes, or are a higher level. There are definitely ways to negate challenge in this game, but I know it's easy to get lost and end up somewhere overwhelming thanks to the sheer scope. So without further ado, let's get into it. Your starting class is totally up to you. This is something you can very easily change and customize as you progress through the game, so don't stress out about it too much. Choose something that sounds fun. For more on it, make sure to check out our starting class guide by Billy Givens. As far as your starting gift is concerned, I'd highly recommend choosing the Golden Seed. Golden Seeds allow you to upgrade your Flasks of Tears, your main healing item in the game, so you have more uses out of it before you have to return to and rest at a site of grace. If you're new to the game, first things first. Make sure you don't miss the tutorial area, the Cave of Knowledge, as it can actually be surprisingly easy to miss. If you're an experienced player, feel free to skip it, although it does teach some of the new mechanics such as guard countering. Once you've opened the door outside of the Stranded Graveyard and into Limgrave, the world truly is your oyster. But don't be overwhelmed. Your first goal is to activate 3 Sites of Grace, as this will bring Melina to you, who will not only give you the ability to access Torrent, the Spectral Steed, but also the ability to level up. To easily access Torrent, I'd advise signing the Spectral Steed Whistle to your quick item menu, which you can access in the equipment section. That way you can just hit the action key and the corresponding directional button to quickly call him to you. This means you won't have to spend time scrolling through your item menu, so you can quickly escape from situations that get a bit sticky. You'll also want to find your first map fragment so you can more easily explore and find things in the massive overworld. Your first site of grace is easy enough, right in front of you at the first step. Next, you'll want to head directly north and avoid the tree sentinel hanging out on the path, where you'll find the Church of Ella, another site of grace, a blacksmithing table, and Kali the Merchant. If you need a hand finding these 3, just follow the golden path. Kali the Merchant sells a number of useful items. The crafting kit will allow you to use all of the crafting materials you've gathered throughout the game and craft whatever you choose. I highly recommend buying a torch here, it's only 200 runes, and you'll definitely want one for the dungeons ahead. He also sells a note about the Flask of Wondrous Physic. This is another healing flask you can find, which can be incredibly useful. This note clues you in on the location. Just northeast through the forest is your next destination. This leads you to the Gatefront Ruins and your first map fragment. If you need help tracking down these map fragments, open your map and look for these icons. That's where you'll find them. Make sure to fully explore these runes, as there's a secret basement that contains a whetstone, which is what allows you to equip Ashes of War under your weapons, which are very useful skills you'll find throughout the game. On top of that, on the north side, you'll find a chest with the Lord Sworn's Greatsword. While you might not have the stats to be able to wield it yet, this is a great starting weapon for any type of strength build. And if you're new to these games, I recommend trying it out and leveling up your strength stats to wield it when you can. The weapon's a little slower, but it's powerful enough to allow you to briefly stagger many enemies you otherwise couldn't just by hitting them with a 2-handed attack, or even sometimes a 1-handed attack. Not only that, but to the northwest and southeast of Gatefront Ruins, you'll find Sites of Grace. Rest at one of these, and both Torrent and the ability to level up is yours. Once you've done all of this, I want you to hop on Torrent and run through the Stormgate to the west of the Gatefront Site of Grace, and follow the path up to the Stormhill Shack. Along the way, you'll find another Golden Seed, which you'll definitely want, as it will allow you yet another upgrade to your Flasks of Tears. Not only that, but at the Stormhill Shack, you'll find an NPC who will gift you Spirit Jellyfish Ashes. In my opinion, this is an incredibly useful Spirit Ash, as you can use it to help distract bosses and take their aggro away from you. However, you can't use Spirit Ashes yet. But now that you have Torrent, you can now find the Spirit Calling Bell, which allows you to do this. First thing you need to do is rest at your Site of Grace and pass time until night, as the NPC who gives you this only appears at night. Next, warp back to the Church of Ella, and you'll now find the witch Renna. Talk to her, and she'll gift you the Spirit Calling Bell, as well as Lone Wolf Ashes. Now you have an extra tool to aid you in combat. From here, there are 2 dungeons I'd recommend checking out. These are Stormfoot Catacombs and the Groveside Cave. They're low-level dungeons which are well-suited for beginners, and completing these will give you a way to earn runes and level up your character. Both of these locations are along the cliffside northwest of the Church of Ella. Completing those, your next location is the Waypoint Ruins Cellar. This is going to be southeast of the Gatefront Ruins and the Agheel Lake north side of Grace. Cross the bridge and find the Waypoint Ruins. Within these ruins, you'll find the Mad Pumpkinhead boss fight. After defeating him, you'll find both the site of Grace and a secret location with Sorceress Sellen. Sellen is going to be your way to buy new sorceries, so this is definitely a must-visit location if you're doing a sorcery-style build. Next, we travel to the Limgrave Tunnels. This tunnel is north along Agheel Lake and north of the Dragon Burnt Ruins. You can attempt to take on the Flying Dragon Agheel if you feel ready, otherwise, feel free to run past him and to the bottom of the cliffside where you'll find the tunnel. I take you here because Limgrave Tunnel is filled to the brim with smithing stones. This is true of the various tunnels in every region of the game. Smithing stones are your key to leveling up your weapons, so if you're doing any kind of melee build, you absolutely want to head here early. Once you finish this, we're going to get that Flask of Wondrous Physic. According to the note from Kale, it's at the Third Church of America north of the Mistwood, so all you need to do is go back to the Waypoint Ruins Cellar. Now take the path north, don't cross the bridge, but rather keep following the path. If you keep following it to its end, you'll come to the Third Church of America and the Flask of Wondrous Physic. There's also an artist shack along the way with a painting. You can try to have fun and see if you can figure out the location the painting was painted at. Now we have some options. There are plenty of side dungeons to do in the main part of Limgrave, and I recommend completing these as it will help you level up your character. Once you finish this and want to explore more, rather than heading north into Stormhill and Stormvale Castle, I recommend you head south into the Weeping Peninsula. This is definitely meant to be the early game area you go to, and there's plenty to find here that will help you out. Castle Morn to the south is a much larger dungeon, but much easier to complete than Stormvale and definitely meant for lower level players. Not only that, but on the way to Castle Morn, you can find yet another golden seed. On top of that, you'll find a minor Erd tree on this peninsula, which will give you more goodies you can use for your Flask of Wondrous Physic. And probably most importantly, there are multiple churches on the Weeping Peninsula that contain sacred tears. While the golden seeds upgrade the number of uses you have out of your flasks of tears, the sacred tears upgrade the potency and make it so each chug will heal you for more. Once again, I recommend exploring all of the Weeping Peninsula for its various secrets and dungeons, which will help you level up and strengthen your character, preparing you for Stormvale Castle. If you still don't feel confident, this might be a good time to go explore Mistwood Folly, which is to the east of Limgrave, as well as Stormhill, which is to the north side. Just make sure not to venture too deeply into Caelid, as that is definitely a high-level area. Alright, all of that done, it's time to tackle Stormvale Castle. Or is it? If you can, might as well go ahead, have fun, and see if you can conquer the challenge. If you're still struggling, there's actually a way to skip Stormvale Castle and travel directly into Liurnia of the Lakes. To the east side of Stormvale Castle, just north of the Stormhill Shack, you can find a path that will lead you to a broken bridge. Go ahead and travel to the end of that bridge, and you'll find a crumbled path that takes you down and through the side of the castle. This will take you right to the lake-facing cliff shrine of Grace and Liurnia of the Lakes. Now you can fully explore this section and its dungeons and try to level up even further, which will help make Stormvale more simple. I'm not going to go too deeply into this area, but I will say this. I recommend going to Caria Manor before the Academy of Raya Lucaria. I also recommend that after you finish Raya Lucaria, you travel up to the Atlas Plateau and Leyndell as your next location. Caelid is a very high-level area, and while you can find it early on, I think Leyndell is actually logically supposed to come first. And there you have a beginner's guide and path to take with Elden Ring. Of course, you're free to alter this however you like and have fun and explore however you want. That's the joy of this type of game, but I thought I'd give a recommended path for beginners and something that might help take some frustration away if you're having trouble. I also made a guide of tips for beginning players you can also check out right here on GameSpot. Thanks so much for watching, and make sure to stay tuned to GameSpot for more Elden Ring content.